Hello everyone, I am back again with the another 10 questions which can help you in preparing for your PgMP exam certification. Today I am focusing more on stakeholder engagement program performance domain, but yes, in between there is a possibility we touch other program performance domain as well because things are interconnected. So let's see our 10 questions on stakeholder engagement related topic. Question number 1. You are taking over an ongoing program and want to assess the current level of stakeholder engagement to determine if changes to the stakeholder engagement strategies are needed. Stakeholder engagement strategies are needed. Where can you find the metrics used for measuring stakeholder engagement in this program? So seems to be relatively simple questions if you get these kind of things because they are primarily focusing on do you know which document contains what? So this question is asking, do you know in which document you can find out stakeholder engagement related matrices? Yeah. So probably you already know the answer, but still I will go with options. Stakeholder register. So you know stakeholder register contains identified stakeholders, some amount of understanding of their needs and expectation. Yeah, it doesn't contain the detail of metrics which will be used for measuring the stakeholder engagement. You have that idea. Stakeholder engagement plan, that seems to be a great answer here because stakeholder engagement plan helps you in understanding the various engagement strategy you will apply, how are you going to ensure engagement throughout the program, and how do you measure the engagement levels and how do you correct the engagement levels if they are not coming as per the desired levels. So that's the answer. Communication management plan. Communication management plan is very closely connected with stakeholder engagement plan, but communication management plan is majorly focusing on identifying the needs and expectation related to communication and designing the communication process. How part of communication, who does it, when it does, what kind of detailing you do, which call meetings you conduct, who attend those meetings, that kind of stuff is going into a communication management plan. You can have a matrices to see the effectiveness of communication in a communication management plan. For sure, you can do that particular thing added in the communication management planning. Governance plan. Governance plan is the overall governance of your program. It is not limited to stakeholder engagement. So it's an easy question in my understanding because it is primarily asking the understanding of a document which you use in your program management. We can map this particular question to the task 2 of your stakeholder engagement performance domain, which talks about that you need to analyze the understanding of the stakeholders, you need to identify the appropriate engagement strategy and put those engagement strategy in the stakeholder engagement plan. The task 2 talks about creating and using the engagement plan to make sure the stakeholders remain engaged consistently throughout the program duration. Question number 2. A program manager is leading a strategic program involving multiple departments. While setting up benefits matrix, some stakeholders propose over complex KPIs that require significant effort to measure but provide limited actionable insights. I'm sure you will find this familiar in your real world. Stakeholder wants to see the effectiveness and want to find out what is going into the user minds, and they propose something. This is how we can measure it. But the whole process of measuring is more time consuming than the benefit we get from that particular measurement. So for me, it's a familiar situation. That's why I created this question. So how should the program manager proceed? Yeah. So situation is clear. We need to see how do we proceed. Propose the use only the KPIs that are easy to measure and provide meaningful insights about the program. Not a bad idea. I can definitely go with that. Yeah, that seems to be a decent idea. Facilitate a collaborative meeting with the stakeholders to review and negotiate KPIs that align the program benefits and objectives. Better than A. Yeah. So rather than me proposing, I need to listen to the stakeholders. Yeah. So I need to definitely give the space, empathy, understand their concern, and I negotiate. I can't just say this is good or that is bad. I explain and probably negotiate. So better than B, A, but B is better than A. Okay. Accept the KPIs proposed by the stakeholders temporarily and gather data over a few months to demonstrate their inefficiency. Yes, you can do that. Yeah. But it's like that, let me follow it for a while and they will realize it. This is not going to make sense. If I don't have a better option, I can do that. But since I already have an option B, I would say, why to do it when I can negotiate? Yeah, the question option is saying you can negotiate, then why I have to collect more data? Escalate the decision to the steering committee as they are responsible for establishing, finalizing the governance KPI. I can do that, but why not try this B first? So, my personal opinion is all options are possible things, but your best thing is you negotiate. You negotiate, you find out if something can be resolved before you take the subsequent steps which might be needed in a given situation. So, in this particular case, I go with option B, and because it is matching to my program management task as well. If I map it, the stakeholder engagement task 3 talks about negotiate the support of the stakeholders, including support, sponsor, steering committee for the program, while setting up clear expectation and acceptance criteria, KPIs for the program benefits to achieve and maintain the alignment with the program objective. So yes, I will negotiate when it comes to KPIs development. Good mapping, and we can go with that particular answer. Moving forward, question number 3. A program manager is initiating a strategic program, so program formulation stage most likely. To ensure successful execution, the program manager needs to identify stakeholders critical to supporting the program objectives. Great idea. Some stakeholders have already shown enthusiasm to support the program. Okay, so I am a program formulation stage. Some stakeholders are showing enthusiasm. I want to identify stakeholders. So how should I proceed from here? Correct. Option A, conduct stakeholder interview and workshop with enthusiastic stakeholders, yeah, to understand their interest, influence, and potential impact on the program. Yeah. So possible you can do and say, oh, these are the people who are already excited. Why don't I talk to them and understand their needs and expectation? Not a bad idea. Let's see if we have a better one. Study the program business case charter and identify key stakeholder to engage with. Yeah, I feel that's more strategic and methodological approach, because it's not necessary the enthusiastic people are the important people. Yeah, I need to start from what my charter is saying, what my business case is saying. So understanding the program charter and business case seems to be a first thing before I go for option A. So as of now, if I have to choose between A and B, I will choose B, because it is giving me a strategic approach to identify a key stakeholders rather than settling down to work with those people who are showing enthusiasm. Option C, ask the sponsor to identify the key stakeholders and provide recommendations. Not a bad idea, but why should not I do my job before I ask someone else to support me? Yeah. So if I have to choose between B and C, I will choose B, because it is talking and an action on me that I should be doing my homework, and then I can definitely do a conversation with the sponsor and ask him if he has a recommendation for identified stakeholders. Ask your program management office to recommend a list of the stakeholder to start with. Again, not a bad idea. You can definitely look into enterprise environmental factor. You may have some stakeholders which are already recommended by your PMO group, but I better do my homework, which is the primary source of requirement of my stakeholder needs and expectation, and the overall program objective will be coming very clear. The justification and the overall direction will come with the help of business case and program charter. After doing that understanding, I will definitely talk to the people who are identified there. I probably will ask my enterprise environmental factor to suggest me. But when we have to choose the options, when all looks probably the right, I need to see what is directly connected to the question, and what action can be directly associated with the role of a program manager. And that should come first. That is my opinion. Again, some of the questions we may have a disagreements. You can definitely put your idea in the disagreement section. Okay, so this particular question number 3 is mapped to task 1, identify stakeholder including sponsor, steering committee, and create the stakeholder matrix to document their position relevant to the program. Yes, we are not talking about mapping power interest grid here, but we are definitely talking about identification here. And it is also talking about using various documents like request for proposal, request for information, those kind of stuff, agreements, to identify the stakeholders and prepare the appropriate stakeholder engagement plan. So yes, those two tasks can be fairly connected to this particular question. Question number 4. A program manager is leading a strategic initiative involving multiple interconnected projects. Obviously, program is about multiple interconnected projects. Stakeholder alignment is a critical for achieving program objective and benefits realization. Get it? What is the most effective approach to sustain stakeholder alignment throughout the program? So actually the question is just asking what is the approach you probably will take out of the given four to ensure continuous alignment of the stakeholders throughout the program. Let's see the option. Take a formal sign off from the stakeholder on program objectives and benefits. Not a bad idea. We do need to set the right expectation. But the question was asking about continuous engagement. Yeah. We may have a benefits matrix as identified. We may have the program charter signed off. We may have a business case approved, and we use that as an understanding and foundational artifact. But overall, on a regular basis, we should have some mechanism and continuous interaction. So I look for a better option. Option B, send regular status reports weekly, monthly throughout the program duration. Not a bad idea. So I definitely want to keep my communication always active. Good idea. Let's see option C. Engage in a one-on-one meeting to build trust and strengthen relationship. Yes, yeah, that is something also I should do. Yeah. So when I have a more options looking pretty much right, then I become a little more curious and I start thinking I need to find out something which is strategic in nature, which is pretty open-ended in nature, not going to a particular type of solution. Yeah. Especially when two options looks like solution, then I become more conscious and probably those two are not right answer. Let's go for option D. Start with agreement on objectives and maintain alignment through periodic health checks, milestone review, and consistent communication. So you see the D covers the option A in a way, yeah, because it is starting with the agreement. Option B anyway, because we are talking periodic health checks and milestone review and consistent communication. It could have been better if it tells that we will agree on a communication management plan and we'll follow the continuous alignment as per communication management plan. We will use our program roadmap to put that, but those informations are not coming out of given four option. D seems to be more comprehensive. The only miss we can do is we probably end up selecting A or B and move forward with the next question. So when you see two options which are looking good, read the whole question, go till the last option. Many a time you may have the right answer still about to come. So here I go with D, and I think it's easy to identify it provided you reach till there. Yeah, and you do believe that ABC may be having some weaknesses. Let me go to the more better one. The idea of the question is identifying the better option because that's the test which we are giving. Overall, it is mapping to generate and maintain visibility of the program and confirm stakeholder support and achieve program strategic objective throughout the program life cycle. So question number 5. Yeah, you as a program manager have called members from two project teams to discuss a mandatory regulatory change impacting program objectives. Okay. During the meeting, you have observed that some team members whose input is critical are not participating. Okay. What technique would you use to encourage their engagement and ensure a comprehensive impact analysis? Okay, so it's more like a facilitation. It's more like creating the appropriate amount of psychological safety. So people who are coming, they are really sharing their ideas. They are not afraid of sharing their ideas and they really care about the problem. Yeah. So I need to bring engagement and I need to bring a safety. How should I do that in a given meeting where I see it is not present? That's the question. Let's go for option. Option A, pause the discussion. Yeah. And set up a shared online document where participants can write their ideas anonymously after the meeting. This ensures everyone has time to reflect and share their thought. We can do that, but why to delay? Yeah. Right now, the question is saying that you are doing the discussion. It's a matter is critical. You need to have feedback from two project teams and people are not communicating. So I'm looking for a better option. Yeah. Rather than just saying, guys, after that, you have any idea, please do it. Maybe I do this, but I do something now. After that, I can do that. There should be a better thing which I can handle directly in the meeting. Option B, explain the importance of diverse inputs, encourage everyone to share their views, and seek agreement on active participation in the discussion. Seems to be a very great option. We hold it for a while. This looks a good idea. Option C, use a structured round robin approach. Ensure each participant has an opportunity to contribute their thoughts during the meeting. So I would say C is also a good idea. Yeah. So if I have to compare C and B, the B is little more open. It is not talking about a particular one way of doing facilitation. It is saying, guys, let's talk, let's participate, and let's agree how do we participate. Yeah, that is the little open-ended. Whereas C is saying, I will bring a one particular thing where people are expected to speak when their turn comes in, and they have to contribute. Yeah, so yeah, could be an option, but B is better one. D, privately follow up with the non-contributing team members after the meeting to understand their reasons for remaining silent and gather their feedback. So I would say A and D can be done, but I have to choose something right now out of B and C. Yeah, because I am in a meeting. Yeah, I don't want to focus on post-meeting thing. And out of B and C, B gives me a better open-ended approach. I better go with that. Yeah, so that's the answer from my perspective. If you have a difference of opinion, comment in the section. So we can put it map to the task 5, define and maintain communication adapted to different stakeholder, including sponsor and stakeholder, to ensure their support for the program. Though this is not talking about the general regular communication, it is basically focusing on communication inside the meeting. And we are not focusing on doing round robin. So we are adaptive to the way people want to discuss. I am open, but it is more like meeting facilitation. But if I have to map, I can map to this particular task, the stakeholder engagement domain. Question number 6. The program you have inherited has a CPI of 0.5, multiple missed milestones, and rising stakeholder concerns about its progress. As the new program manager, what should be your initial step to engage with the stakeholders and guide the program back on track? So this situation is like that program was in a mess and it has been given to you. Yeah. And now you have to get started. What will you do in order to make sure the stakeholders are engaged and trusting you? And you also bring the program back on track. Yeah. And the cost performance index 0.5 means it's a bad thing because you are 50% behind your the budgeted amount. You are spending more money and getting less results. That's something we are getting here. Option A, develop a stakeholder engagement strategies by leveraging tools like stakeholder register and engagement plan to clarify roles and communication. Not a bad idea. I definitely have to come up with the engagement strategy. It could be there also. Yeah, I probably want to study the engagement strategy using the stakeholder register and stakeholder engagement plan, but I can do that. Option B, assess the organization culture, the program, current challenges, and the specific expectation and concern of the stakeholders. So B is also a great idea. If I have to do out of A and B, I will do B first, then I will go for A. Yeah, and that becomes another trick. When we have an option, we need to see a sequence, which one will come early. So when I'm getting into the new environment, I am going through the acknowledgement and assessment first before I tell this is what I will do. So B is a safe choice as of now. Option C, define and prioritize stakeholder needs and desired outcome to establish a framework for aligning ongoing program activities and stakeholder interest. Good idea, but after B, yeah, first I access, I check what is happening here, and I do my own judgment, and then I go for prioritizing stakeholder needs and expectations as well. Option D, record stakeholder concern and expectation in a structured log to enable them to enable the team to analyze and address them systematically. Definitely, I will do that. Yeah, all are relevant option, I would say. And when we have many relevant option, we need to see which one is the most open-ended systematic approach which covers more ideas and which talks about let me figure it out before I tell I will do this, and that way I go with option B. Yeah, so I need to focus on assessing the organization culture because things may not work the way it was used to work before. I'm in a new program. I need to understand what is happening here, understand the concerns here, and then I will come with a prioritized list of things which I will do to improve my program situation. So this is mapping to task 1, identifying stakeholder and creating their understanding. Yes, after doing assessment, though the option answer was not there, but The answer was not talking about this task, but this task is definitely very visible in this particular question. And task 3, negotiating the support of the stakeholders, including sponsors and their expectations for the acceptance criteria, not very clearly coming out, but yes, I have to work on assessing the culture and the environment before I can go for the action. So that's the task 3. Question number 7. Your organization has entered a strategic partnership to exploit an emerging market opportunity. To make the partnership successful, alignment in culture, tools, and ways of working is required, and a program has been initiated for this purpose. Oh, your program is that. The program mission statement has been formed and shared with you. Okay. How should the program manager use the mission statement to align stakeholders? So in a simple word, you are doing a merging kind of program and you have a diversified group. You need to make sure we merge together and we focus on exploiting this opportunity. That's a background. But overall question is asking how possibly you will use the program mission statement. Yeah, that's the idea to ensure the stakeholder get aligned to the common purpose. Option A, analyze the and document the organization current state, its strategic goal, and prepare a business case to ensure alignment. I can do that. Yeah, that's there. But what was the question? How should the program manager use the mission statement to align stakeholders? Yeah, by making a business case, probably it will bring alignment. Yes, it is. It's a tool for bringing a strategic alignment. But can I do a little bit more hands-on approach, which directly make the mission statement used for alignment? Yeah, not I create a out of mission statement and that thing will help me in an alignment. So it's a little two-step approach. Can I get a direct step? Let's see. Option B, share the program mission statement with the operational manager to secure the necessary support for program execution. Not a bad idea. The only thing is, why only operational managers? Yeah, why not the whole stakeholders? So I can definitely discard this option, nothing to consider here. Option C, use the program mission statement to ensure alignment with the strategic objective while addressing the interest, concerns, and expectation of stakeholders. Good idea. So I will definitely use this stakeholder and communicate to the stakeholder, this mission statement and communicate to the stakeholders. And I will also talk about their interest, concerns, and expectation. So we bring the overall alignment and we use this mission statement to produce that. Looks good. Option D, develop a detailed program charter based on mission statement to establish the program's framework. Yeah. So A and D are candidate, but the problem with them is they are using two-step approach. Whereas option C is saying, I have something in hand. First, I use it because that's the question is the program mission statement has been formed and shared with you. How would you use that? Yeah. So I better use it first before I go for preparing some another document out of it. That's the reason I am choosing the option C as a right option because it is focusing on all stakeholder. Option B is out because it was only focusing on operational managers. Yeah, so this is the answer. We go with option C. The question is focusing on pretty much two tasks of two domain, stakeholder engagement and strategic program alignment. The stakeholder engagement, we focus on negotiating and supporting the stakeholders, including their goals, KPIs. So that way we are talking about what we do here together as a strategic objective. And in the task 4 of strategic alignment, we focus on defining the program mission statement by evaluating stakeholder concerns and expectation to establish program direction. Though the question is showing that you have a ready-made mission statement, you are just using it, but that way it was also touching the task 4 of strategic alignment or strategic program alignment domain. Now we are in a question number 8. So a program to establish a new line of business for a food chain involving stakeholders with diverse communication needs. A store manager requires actionable updates to guide daily operations. Decision maker needs concise strategic insight to make informed choices, and technical stakeholder demand in-depth information to address complexity. What approach should the program manager take to ensure effective communication and secure stakeholder support for the program? So in a way, it is basically focusing on creating a communication management plan which can take care of diverse communication needs. Yeah. So that seems to be a clear answer I'm looking from just by reading the question. So let's see what kind of options we have. Option A, create a single comprehensive report covering all program updates. You know that's not a good idea. Yeah, you don't push your stakeholder to find the information what they need and you only give one report to them. Definitely you don't do that. Option B, develop and implement a tailored communication management plan that addresses the unique need of your each stakeholder groups. Looking like a textbook answer. Yeah, definitely that's a great idea. Option C, focus primarily on communicating with the decision maker as their influence and supports are vital for the success. You definitely give high importance to the key stakeholders, but it doesn't mean that you don't take care of the communication need of other stakeholders. You need to satisfy the communication need appropriately. You may not give the interactive communication to those people who are at low in their power and interest, but you need to give them some way of communication so they know what is coming in the upcoming program milestones. So I can't just take a statement that only I will only care about the key stakeholders. Schedule regular high-level meeting with all stakeholders to review program progress and foster alignment and the across the board. Yes, you can do, but you don't do these kind of things with all the stakeholders. You need to find out appropriate technique. Yeah, that's the idea. Don't just get jump into a one way of doing it. So detailed report for everyone or meeting for everyone, both are A and D are not focusing on diversified communication need. So we understand we need to tailor it. That seems to be a clear statement in your ECO exam content outline as well when you look into your program management exam ECO for PgMP exam. The domain stakeholder engagement task 5 clearly says define and maintain communication adapted to different stakeholder including stakeholder, sponsors, steering committee to ensure support for the program. So that's an easy pick. Question number 9. During the program formulation phase, the steering committee has raised several potential risks that could impact program objectives. Okay, these risks have been documented in the business case and the program justification includes scenarios calculation based on them. Okay, what should the program manager do to effectively address these risks and ensure they are managed appropriately? Okay, so you have a risk which were there even in the business case stage, they were evaluated. Now, how do you take care of them during the program? Option A, review the risk identified in the business case periodically with the stakeholders during the milestone review. Yeah, good idea. Yes. Now, it is not giving me an indication that I am reviewing it just opening the business case or I have some other mechanism of reviewing it, but it seems to be okay idea. Option B, agree on risk management strategy with the stakeholder and adopt a documentation and tracking approach based on that strategy. Open-ended, great. Yeah. So I will say, guys, let's have a risk management strategy, which we will put into our risk management plan. We are in a program formulation phase. We talk about program formulation, strategic alignment, risk management strategy. So that seems to be probably a great answer. Let's see. Treat these risks as a high priority risk and collaborate with the sponsor to take ownership of these risks to safeguard program objectives. Yes, they are most likely to be a high priority risk. Yeah. And there is a possibility some of them may not be high priority risk. Yeah, there's a possibility also. But there is a possibility, but I would say the B is already giving me a more systematic approach, so I don't have to get confused and get into C. Prioritize risk raised by the sponsor and steering committee over those identified with others? Definitely not. Yeah, there is a possibility some a technical guy or maybe not looking very powerful stakeholder may give me a big risk. Yeah, that's a possibility. So I don't judge the risk based on who is raising. Yeah, there is a likelihood the sponsors, stakeholders might be giving a good idea, but I can't just judge the ideas based on that. So yes, easy pick because it's an open-ended. I will agree on risk management strategy with the stakeholder and we will follow appropriate approach, maybe by way of risk management plan, risk register, periodic frequency, review ratings for it. And based on that, we will take care of those risks. We will go with option B. It is mapped to your task 6 in your stakeholder engagement topic. It focuses on evaluating risk identified by stakeholders, including sponsor, steering committee, and incorporate them into a program risk management plan as necessary. Yeah, so that's the idea, and that's the question which you have just seen. Question number 10. So as a program manager, you are leading a high visibility program that required consistent engagement with the sponsor and the steering committee. You have noticed some of the communication gap and lack of alignment among members of the steering committee. Yeah, you must find this familiar. Yeah, I find this situation very familiar. Some members are more open with you while others are resistant to suggestion you make. What should you do as a program manager to foster stronger relationship and secure their ongoing support for the program? So I feel this is something I have seen in my programs most of the time. Sometimes the people I feel they are supporting may not be supporting. So that's also sometimes deception happens. People who looks like resistive are not that resistive also. But okay, the experience is experience. Let's look at the question. So you have a steering committee. Few members are seems to be supportive to you, few members are not. How do you ensure that you have a good relationship, good communication, so that program does not suffer because of this dynamics of equations? Option A, schedule regular formal meetings with the stakeholders to present program updates and ensure alignment on program objective. Not a bad idea, good idea. Yeah, we can consider it. Establish information radiators such as a program roadmap for overall program health dashboards and ensure transparency. Not a bad idea. Option A and B are both good idea. Then I become suspicious. Probably I need to find the best idea. Option C, develop a stakeholder engagement plan tailored to individual stakeholder needs, focusing on matching the communication style of the steering committee members. Yes, that becomes more systematic approach. I need to come up with the engagement planning. Somebody may want to have formal communication, somebody may want to have an informal communication, somebody may want to attend meeting frequently, somebody may not want to attend meeting frequently. Probably I'm not taking care of tailored stakeholder engagement need. That's why few people are happy who are matching with my style, others are not. So I need to come up with the customized dealing. Looks good. Option D, escalate concerns about the lack of stakeholder engagement to the program sponsor to secure the authority, their authority on managing the relationship. Possible, yeah, but why to go for escalation when the question is helping me to deal with it myself? Escalation in the program management is not a bad idea. You do, but not unnecessarily. Yeah? So you definitely go with option C, where you can come up with a stakeholder engagement plan tailored to the different needs. And that's the task. Task number 7, develop and foster relationship with the stakeholder, including sponsor, steering committee, to improve communication and enhance their support for the program. It also matches to other tasks where we talk about prepare stakeholder engagement plan. So these were the 10 questions. Hopefully you are getting the insight of how to work with the stakeholders and when you are dealing with the program, and how to think as a PgMP participant program manager in order to get certified with the PMI with ease. If you need specific assistance for your PgMP certification, feel free to contact us. I do run a mentoring program which takes care of your preparation as well as application in order to make your PgMP certification journey easy and fast.